Well, good morning guys. It's time for the 2025 Callthemall truck update. So here she be. This is September 2025. As always, there's lots to do on it and it's ever changing. I guess we'll start off here. I've noticed a lot of people have been mentioning the paint on the hood because it's viewable from the cab in there. The clear coat is definitely not in good shape. It's actually coming off on this fender here too. This fender and the hood and the cab, it's all original paint. The far fender and I think one corner of the back of the sleeper is actually repainted. Is it this side? This panel was replaced at some point. It was a very good paint match, but you can tell that it's a different panel. Yeah, I believe it is this panel. Can't really tell without the light in there. But then we look on top here. Yeah, the clear coat is also coming off on the sleeper. So really, the whole thing's due for some new paint. I do want to keep the same graphic layout, but continue the stripe all the way around the back, because this is just graphic, like vinyl sticker stuff, and to cut it around all the lights and grab bars and stuff is going to be a challenge. So it wasn't done then, and that was 2 years ago. It's still not done. Yeah, this pipe, it's got some scratches on it. We will show you the other pipe in a second. This is weird. I'm starting on this side of the truck. So I had a little bit of an issue with water getting into the tanks. Like I would drain the air tank. That's not too bad. And it would come out with the yellow liquidy grossness stuff, which is water getting into the tanks. I ended up changing out the air dryer filter and everything's been good since, so that's good. There's a bit of rust jacking on the cab supports, probably up there too. But other than that, man, I just washed this truck like last week, but then I was in and out of quarries a couple times, and so there's bugs and stuff on the stacks, and it's just not quite clean anymore. Everything's got a little layer of dust on it. We come around to the front of the truck. It is due for a polish. The whole grille is not shiny reflective anymore. This bumper down here, I think I've told you guys before, but I was pulled out with a cat dozer and the chain snapped and it bent that little bit in. I don't know if you can see. It's not exactly straight, but it's pretty close. Last winter when I took out this light on a snowbank, or I should say ice bank, it did actually bend the bumper ever so slightly. So you can see at the grill, that's straight, and then this portion's pushed back just a touch right along here. There's a good angle on it. But the bottom is held on with this angle iron, so it's actually pretty straight on the bottom, if I remember correctly. It might be bent a little bit, but it's not bad. I do need to get new lights on the bottom here. These lights are, honestly, I don't even use them. The LED headlights, the high beams, are very nice. And even on the low beams, you can turn on the big lights on the bottom and you can't see any farther than what these are already putting out. So if I can find some nice equivalent LED lights preferably with a plastic housing on it, like a plastic lens, and put those on the bottom that'll actually cast some good light, because these glass ones, this is my spare one and it's shattered from a rock. That one is the only non-shattered one I have, but the lens is foggy, so it's a bit of a mismatch, but it's not the worst. Come around to this side. So this fender was replaced before I bought the truck, and it was repainted, so it doesn't have the same clear coat issues as the rest of the truck, but it was slightly less of a nice paint job. Is that a bee that stung the fender? Weird. Again, the rims need polish. They're not quite mirror finish anymore. It's been 3 years, I think, since I was actually able to polish anything. One day I'll get to it again. Mirrors, stacks, breathers all need the polish too. In my last fix-it video, I changed out this side mirror and that side, but the far mirrors I still have not touched. Like, this is the replacement mirror that I got from that run back from Thessalon. No mirror heat, it's still disconnected. This one's the old one, and again, it will be replaced because I have some spackling that's in behind the glass of the mirror, like the whole thing's corroding away. But again, I have these brackets that'll bring it down so it'll be flush with it instead of on this angle and bringing water and air and spraying up on the main mirror. So that's a job that I'm gonna rip apart the entire dashboard to get the wiring in, to get that done right. This CB mount up here is a little bit loose. Yeah, it's not the bracket itself, it's actually the bolt, so I can tighten that up. But I do have the new brackets to put in. If we go into the interior, you can see that it is a graphic and it's peeled away from a pressure washer. I'm surprised it stopped peeling away after that. I was just figuring that I was going to keep going and rip the whole thing off. And again, the door graphic is a little crooked. Excuse me, door. It's crooked compared to the rest of the truck. And the Maplewood logo is off-centered. It was centered between here and here, where it should have been centered between here and here. Shift it down. Shift it forward a touch, I think. Maybe. Anyways, at some point. So I did get a new steering wheel. It's now pure white compared to the cream white of the shifter knob, so that's a little mismatch. But I'm living with that right now. This seat, I think the bracket has gotten even worse. It's now on a real sharp angle. But again, at some point I'll replace this seat. I just haven't dedicated the money and time to doing that job quite yet. So let's move on to the trailer. We'll get to the Moffett in a second too. I put on a layer of plywood over top of everything. When I'm doing the armor stone, I usually take the forks, put the stone on in the middle of the trailer, and then scrape it across and put it on either side. And after a couple years of having the wood deck on the trailer, it started eating into the wood deck, and now my forks will catch the main I-beam that would run in the middle. So I figured, you know what, put the plywood on, that's what everyone else does, and just like this stuff gets destroyed really quick. but it saves the deck underneath. So I'm thinking I'll get a year per plywood decking and just change them out every spring or something like that, but we'll see. This is just about a month or so of usage. It's not bad. These ratchets, I have way too many ratchets on this trailer and not enough on that trailer, so at some point I'm peeling off a couple of these and putting them on the rail for the pup. But I still haven't gotten to do that. Oh gosh. Do we even want to look what's inside of this? It's kind of disgusting. It's not the worst it's ever been, but it's not great at any means. I had people recommend doing that for my bungee straps. I just take some PVC piping and put them around that, and it would store them nicely. And it does, but when I go to tarp something and use the bungee cords, it's actually pretty inconvenient. Having them like this and putting them back takes a lot of time, so I still end up having a bundle of straps, or a bundle of bungees, underneath the trailer. So at some point I'm gonna get better organization, put some shelving in here out of plywood to organize all this stuff. I need to keep the snow fencing for around brick and other loads that need some sort of securement on the bottom that the corner boards don't cover. These massive corner boards for insulation and stuff. Spare, wow, what do you even call these? I want to call them ratchets, but they're not. There might be. Technically ratchets, I think. Anyways, a couple extra moldy straps, support beam, bungees, and I want to add a leaf blower in here. I don't know if I'm going to have room for all of that, but I'm going to try at some point. Well, I just got word of a load that I might have to leave and go do pretty soon. So this might have to be a little bit shortened, but we'll still make it through. Okay, so trailer tires. These are original. Those two sets are original. This is the first set that I've replaced. That's the second set I've replaced. And then this set is just about due for replacement again already. Yeah, this back tire turns out to be the one that's scrubbed along anytime the train is turning, and everything pivots on the middle axle here. So this axle doesn't get very much wear at all. Like, you can see how deep that tread still is, versus this, which was already replaced once, and it's almost at the wear bars, pretty much at the wear bars actually. That one is wearing a little bit faster than this, but is nowhere near as bad as that axle. Like, that has been replaced once, but it still has plenty of tread left in it. These are my nice fork extensions for on the Moffett. I needed it for one job that had steel building products across the whole length of the deck that I need to pick up all in one shot, and I just haven't taken them off the deck yet. I do want to mount them underneath the frame at some point somewhere. I was actually thinking I'd put them right here. Just two little slots that the forks can go in, some locking pins, and they're stowed away underneath the trailer. But that's a future job. Yes, Sprout, would you like something? The ball? So outside of the plywood deck and the tires, There's not a whole lot going on with trailers. I'm gonna have to replace a couple of the brakes soon on some of the axles down there. But as you can see, this is a little bit lower in tread, these tires. These ones have more tread, so I'll need to replace these at some point soon, but I've still got quite a bit left on them. Oh gosh, this. Yeah, so I had a load of armor stone on the deck, and the loader guy just finished putting it all together, tightening up some of the stones, and he was coming around here, had his forks tipped up like this, or I guess like this, coming at the truck, and it was just a little bit too low and went zerp and pushed this all back. I was like, oh crap, that was expensive. But an incident report was made, and luckily, other than the rub rail here, which is bent, this is all a detachable piece, and the actual corner of the trailer is perfectly fine. So I have an appointment booked on Monday to get that replaced, because the parts finally came in. This isn't the repair I was going to talk about, but it's another one of the repairs that were done on this trailer, because I had a fork come in and push in this whole thing and snap. No, it wasn't the fork, it was the mast on the forklift. I was trying to get a stone in the middle of the trailer, and my forks are just too short, so I'm like, come on, get on the trailer, and then the mast was like, boop, and pushed right through the whole thing, snapped it right in half. So that was repaired. I do also want to mention that I accidentally stuck my fork underneath the plywood trying to get underneath a stone, and pulled it up off the screws a bit, so I need to screw this back down again, but the rest of it is still so super secured that there's no problem. This is the new fancy side box put in where all my straps and stuff are going. I have 10 full-length straps and then 10 shorty straps for short stuff loads, and then my strap winder and stuff. Good stuff. And as you can see, this is the axle where the tread is just about due for replacement. That's the wear bar right there, and it's pretty close. This is the other fender, the other repair that needs to be done. I had a skid of mini armor stone, and it was like 4 cubes of armor stone all kind of haphazardly banded together, and I went from loading to the scale, and in that time one of the stones on top got through the binding and flopped off the truck. I'm like, oh, that's not good. So I replaced that skid, went on my way. It wasn't until I got to my delivery that I realized, huh, my fender's sitting really low. And, oh crap, what's that giant dent right here? So the stone fell off the trailer onto the fender and pushed it in, bent it down. It doesn't actually rub on the tires. Well, maybe a touch. But yeah. The frame at the back there is bent in, so this fender is coming off. Straighten up the fender, or the frame, and then put on a brand new fender, because it's going to be real tough to try to get out all these little kinks and stuff and make it straight and presentable again like the other side. I'm filming the wrong direction into the sun, but let's move on to the Moffett. As you might notice, the hood's missing. I have a brand new one sitting in the barn that I need to drill the holes for the hinges and put it on. And I was actually going to do that today, but now I'm going off to Brockville, I believe. So that's fun. But I did have some time to do quite a bit of work on this machine. I took the rad off, sent it out for rebuilding. Turns out it was just a cleaning and a pressure test, and put it all back together, and it's nice and perfect ish. I got a new water pump because I was having some sort of issue with it overheating and couldn't really figure out why. So it's just start firing the parts cannon, and the biggest one, the water pump was the only part number that I could actually still find for this engine. I do have new hoses on the way just because these are getting kind of crusty and better not have them break on the road. The rad is send it out for rebuilding if it is acting up anymore, but I've done a few deliveries with this since and it's not overheating anymore, so that's a good sign. Exhaust is not leaking anymore, it's nice and quiet. I have an exhaust pipe that goes out there that fell off twice and it's back on again. We'll see how long it lasts. Yeah, you can probably see a little bit of leakage on the fuel tank. I did a boo-boo and I was filling it up with a jerry can the one day, and I took the tube for the jerry can, the funnel, and put it back in the jerry can. But when I put it back, it just dropped right in. And then I realized that I didn't put it in the jerry can, I put it in the fuel tank. It dropped right through this this hole right here and into the tank and fished right into the bottom right around here, so I couldn't get anything to get in and pinch it out and pull it out. I had to fully remove the whole tank, and so that was a job and a half. The tank itself was siliconed in, and this bolt that was right here was stripped inside the fuel tank, so it was just spinning. So I had to cut it off and then figure out from there. There's only one bolt holding everything in though, just that one. Other than that, it just pops right out. But when I was putting it back in, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but there's a fuel return line right in the back here, and the tip of it snapped off, so I JB welded the thing on and hopefully it's holding, but I don't think it's holding, judging by the fuel overspray. I need a new motor mount on it still. That thing's toast, and it's actually pushing the alternator into the side of it, the side of the Moffett right now. But one thing at a time, eventually I'll get there. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this little truck tour. As always, there's plenty of work to do on the truck. It's never ending, but she keeps trucking along. So yeah, with that being said, I think I'm off to go to Brockville now, take a load of brick up there and hopefully find something back. So yeah, with that, I'll see you later and catch you at the next one. Are you ready, everybody? Go get the ball! Sprout! Go get it! It's over there! Tater got it.